I would like to express my sincere gratitude for the organizers of this CME, and I express my sincere again. I express my sincere gratitude for all the delegates from the various parts of Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. So, without wasting much time, we will directly go to the topic. Myself, Dr. Jitesh Shimke, I'm working as a senior medical officer and head of the Department of Quality Control, Department of Quality Control, as well as Quality Assurance. So here, I would like to take some of the, I would like to collect some of the different opinions or different experiences of some of the formulations which we are using predominantly or specifically in skin disease. So, of course, most of the formulations will be quite known to everyone, but still, there will be some of the what we say, some peculiarities or some either in the manufacturing or in the ingredients, etc. And then I would like to highlight more on that peculiarities of during this preparation or during this indication in the ingredients. So we will just, most of the medicines which I have selected are quite common only. And out of this, some are our own specialty products also. So without wasting much time, we will directly go to the topic. So the critical analysis of common Aushadha yogas or drug formulation used in clinical practice. So what are these? So what are the common Aushadha yogas and what are the common indications? But we can say, up to some extent, we can say the unknown indication of non-formulations. So how to select the medicine? We know there are n number of medicines, say about more than 650 classical Ayurvedic formulations are being manufactured and marketed by Ayurvedism. So where to use those kind of medicines? Where to use these different kinds of preparations precisely? That we have to be very cautious and we should be thorough enough for getting the better result. So how to select a combination of medicine? That's the most important one. We know there are enough medicines out there. If we are taking this kashai, the decoctions, more than 150 decoctions are available. And in case of tablets, again, almost more Quadram tablets, more than 25 to 30 Quadram tablets are available. More than 50 Auleham or Aristam, etc. available. So where to use those kind of medicine? Precisely, where to use each and every kalpana precisely. That is being concentrated in this presentation more. So we will just see. There are different ways to select a combination in a disease. See, we can do one thing. We can just tabulate the entire ingredients and we can tabulate their rasa, guna, virya, vibhaga, etc. And later, we can reach to a conclusion of how this medicine works or what could be the pharmacodynamics of this selected formulation. So if we could understand the common property of that medicine, it's very easy to select the medicine, as well as it becomes very, very easy to extrapolate the medicine. Even if one medicine is not available with us, we will be able to, if we know the property of, if we know the quality of each and every the formulation. If one medicine is available with us, is not available with us, we'll be able to substitute the medicine easily. So we know this. Acharya explained clearly as Rogamato Pariksheva Tatonandaram Aushadham. Initially, the Roga should be diagnosed first. The Roga should be understood first, and then only the medicaments comes. So he is not saying that there is no need of understanding the medicine. Definitely, there is a need of understanding the properties and qualities of that medicines without any controversy. But initially, the disease has to be diagnosed, and then the formulation has to be decided. For deciding the apt formulation, we should be aware of the properties, the common properties of each and every formulation. And that we will just see. So this is the first method, tabulating the ingredients, tabulating the Rasaguna, Virya, Vipaka, etc. And finally reach to a conclusion regarding the property of that drug. And the second one, the second method is more applicable in larger formulations. Of course, if the number of ingredients are more than 10 or more than 15, it will be very difficult to reach to a conclusion by tabulating the entire ingredients. At the same time, if we are adopting the second method, if we know the indications of a particular yoga, particular formulation, there will be a link between each and every indication. And that link becomes the property of that formulation. So if we could identify the link between each and every indication, definitely that becomes the property of that drug. And if we could understand the property of the drug, the property of the formulation, there ends the difficult situation and the further treatment becomes easy. So see pick the formulation, see the ingredients, look the indications thoroughly, find out the link between indications, and extrapolate the formulation. Extrapolate in the sense, we can use the same, if we know the property of a medicine properly, we can use the same medicine in the indications other than the textual one. Wherever we need to use that property, the medicine can be selected. So this is the benefit of this kind of approach. And if we are picking the first kind of approach, that is tabulating the ingredients, the properties, and finally reaching to a conclusion, this may not be feasible with the larger yogas like Brahmanjashtadikvata, Maharasnati Kashaya, Gugulithita Kashaya, or Gugulithita Krita, etc. So always I prefer to follow the second method. So probably I was informed to deal or to concentrate more on the formulations which are used in skin disease. So we will start from the decoctions, the Kwatha. So we know that there are so many Kwatha or Kashayas are available in the market, especially which is being manufactured by Ayurvedic. There is Arakodhati Kwatha, there is Tiktaka Ghrita as well as Tiktaka Kashaya, Mahatikta Ghrita as well as Mahatikta Kashaya, Gugulidikta Ghrita as well as Gugulidikta Kashaya. There is one Patola Muladi Kashaya. Then the another one is Patola Kadro Hindiandi. then Brihat Manjishtadi, and then Shonitamridam. These are the common medicines what we are common decoctions what we are using in the skin disease. So, where to use these medicines clearly, we have to understand clearly. The condition, the disease condition where Aragadhadi Gana or Aragadhadi Kwatha has to be used is entirely different from the indication of Tiktaka. Both these are entirely different from the indication of Gugulatikta or Patola Mulati. That means the place where Aragadhadi has to be used is separate, it is different. Where Tiktakam has to be used is different. Where Patola Muladi has to be used is different. Where Brihat Manjishtadi has to be used different. And where Shonitanadam has to be used is also different. So, what are the specific indications that we should understand properly? We will just see one by one. First, we will go to Aragadhati. We know this is Aragadhati Gana that we have been learning since our first year BAMS syllabus. There are total 19 ingredients which has been explained in Ashtanga Hridaya Sutrasthana, that is Shodhanadikana Samiti. So we will just go to the indications. As I explained previously, we will adopt the second method, that we will find out the link between indication, and that link becomes the common property of the drug. So we will just try to follow this method. We know the indication of Aragadhadi. Aragadhadi Jayadi, Charti, Koshtakapakrimi, Visham Kandun, and Prameham Cha, Dushtavrana Vishodhana. So we will analyze each and every indications. Charti, Jwara, Visha, Kushta, Prameha, as well as Dushtavrana. So from the indications like Chardi, Jwara, Kandu, etc., we can understand that this medicine has an action over Koshta. And from these other indications, it can be understood that this acts on mainly superficial dhatus like Rasa and Rekta. And there is no deeper dhatu indications are not mentioned. And so the site of action of this Aragadhadi is Koshta and Rasa and Rekta dhatu. When it comes to the properties, this medicine is Tikta Kashaya Rasa predominant with Ushna Virya, and which has got a peculiar property called as Klayeda Shosha. So we can use this in multiple indications, multiple conditions that we'll see. And action on dosha is Kaphasamana. And out of this Roga Marga, again, for understanding this Roga Marga, just we have to see the indications again. That is Chardi, Kushtha, Visha, Jwara, Kandu, Prameha, and Dushtavrana. All are related to Bahya as well as Abhyantara Roga. And there is this, and from this we can understand that this has not much action on Madhyama Roga. Now we will just see how practically we can utilize this formulation. So skin disease. So we will just categorize this into 5. Not only skin disease. One is skin disease, GIT disorder, wounds, gynecological disorders, respiratory disorders, where we can use this indication and this medicine as an indication. So what kind of skin disease this is effective? So different kinds of, as we explained that this is Tikta Kashaya Rasa predominant, Ruksha Guna, as well as Kleda Shosha. So different kinds of weeping stage of eczema. different kinds of fungal infections, etc. And what kind of disease in GIT. Again, this has got Ruksha, Tikshna, Tikta, Kashaya as well as Kleda Shoshana, and thereby different and Krimihara as a peculiar properties. So different kinds of skin, the different kinds of worm infestations as well as bacterial infestations, like maybe Helicobacter pylori or E. coli, etc. Because of by its Ruksha and Tikshna as well as Krimihara properties, this can act as an antimicrobial. Wounds, as it is explained that Dushta Vrana Vishodha. What kind of wound or what stage of the wound this becomes effective? Most probably, this is found to be effective both internally as well as externally in diabetic wound as well as in different kind diabetic foot ulcer or different kinds of venous ulcers, etc. May be taken for, may be used for Shalan as well as even internally also. And now we'll come to gynecology. Discharge PV. Different kinds of cervicitis. We know this discharge is a very common disease. There are some discharge where we have to use Buluchet. There are some discharge where we have to use this Araguthati. There are some discharge where we have to use Musalikate. So that should be differentiated. We should be able to differentiate the condition where we have to use Musalikate, the condition where we have to use Buluchadi, and the condition where we have to use Araguthati. So here, the kapha predominant different kinds of discharges, probably the cervicitis, like profuse, the curdy white, thick discharges with severe itching. This Araguthati becomes the most important. And in case of respiratory, of course, the condition we know, this asthma eczema reaction, with that or this wheezing associated with eczema. So we'll just see some of the pictures. The venous ulcer, the intertrigo, where you can see all these are Kleda predominant. This has got the Kleda social property, and thereby this facilitates the wound healing. Then the diabetic foot, and fourth one is vasculitis. These are all some of the examples where we can use this Araguthati. So now we'll see the next one, that is Tiktaka. Again, there are so many ingredients are there. Patolan impakaduga, darvi, pathadurale, parpadam trayamanam cha. Actually, this is being explained as Tiktaka Grita. And now here we are converted this to Tiktaka Kvata. Again, where Araguthati was very important, more significant in Kapha predominant condition, and this Tiktaka becomes more important in Pitta predominant diseases. So, from the indications, we can understand that this is Tiktarasa, then Sroto Shodhana, and Pachana, Kleda Shoshana, as well as Krimihara. The action on dosha is Pitta Samana. Again, this also is indicated in Koshta, Rasa, Rekta, and up to Mamsa, this medicine has got action. And in case of Roga Marga, this is very effective in Bahya as well as Abhyantara Roga, probably. Again, Madhyama Roga Marga, both these medicines, that is Araguthati and Tiktaka, doesn't have much indication. Now, what kind of diseases? Again, we will categorize skin, GIT, wound, gynecology, and CNS. In case of skin, weeping stage of eczema, where pitta becomes more predominant. That means with burning sensation, with yellowish discharge, etc. And the psoriasis, different kinds of psoriasis like erythrodermic psoriasis or tinea cruris, etc. In GIT, again, there is a typical sloka explained in Ashtanga Hridaya of Arshas. That is, while explaining this Rektarsas, Acharya, the treatment principle of Rektarsas is explained as Doshanam Pachanartham cha, Vanni Sandhukshanaaya cha, Sangrahaya cha Rektasya, Param Tikthairupachare, where we have to use Tikta Rasa for this treatment. One is Doshanam Pachanartham cha, Dosha Pachana. The second one is Vanni Sandhukshanaya cha. That is Vanni Sandhukshana is nothing but Agni Deepana. Then Sangrahaya cha Rektasya, that is Rektastandhana. In case of all these conditions, we are supposed to use Tiktaga, not Tiktaga Kashaya, this Tikta Rasa as a treatment modality. And this Tiktaga Kvata becomes predominant of Tikta Rasa. So the different conditions were discharge PR. It may be mucopurulent discharge, or maybe bleeding PR, or maybe any different kinds of pruritus, NI, etc. The ulcerative colitis, the conditions like ulcerative colitis, bleeding piles, different kinds of GI ulcers for promoting or for facilitating the healing, and then intestinal infections like H. pylori or E. coli, etc. In case of wounds, the diabetic and venous ulcers for Kshalana as well as internally, predominantly of Pitta, that means with pus discharge as well as with yellowish discoloration. In case of gynecology, again discharge PV. This can be used for this Kshalana as well as douche, where Pitta becomes predominant. That means the discharge with yellowish discharge, with predominant of burning sensation or dyspareunia, etc. This Tiktaka becomes important. And in case of CNS, different kinds of schizophrenia or insomnia, etc. This Tiktaka, because of this Pitta Shamanatva action, it becomes more, can be effective. So you can just see the different kinds of conditions where we can use Tiktaka. The first one is the venous ulcer. The second one is a balanitis. The third one is in purpura, that is HSP, we can say as Hinoxolin purpura. So here also we have to use this the principle, that is Doshanam Pachanartham cha, Vanni Sandhukshanaya cha, Sangrahaya cha Rektasya, Param Tikthairupachare. And the fourth one is a kind of psoriasis, that is erythrodermal psoriasis, or we can consider this as Pundarika Kushta. Padmapatra Mimamsuki, Khanabhuri Lasigasal Praya is explained. You can see that the conditions where the skin becomes lotus leaf like. So almost it's like the lotus leaf only, Padmapatra Mimamsuki. So these are all the different conditions where we can use this Tiktaka Kvata effectively. Now we will see this Mahatikta. This has got more than 30 ingredients. The reference is again Ashtanga Hridaya Kushta Chikitsa. And the indication is only one line is explained, that is, this is more effective than Tiktaka. So again, we can understand that site of action is Koshta, Rasa, and Rektatha. The properties like Tiktaka, there are almost again Tiktaka Kashaya Rasa, Shita Virya, and Kleda Shoshna. This is more of Pitta Shamana than Tiktaka. And again, Roga Marga becomes Bahya and Abhyantara. So this is the difference. The ingredients have got a little bit different. That is, Amlaki, etc. are additional in Mahatikta. And by that, this becomes more of Pitta Shamana as well as Rasayana. So the Tiktaka becomes more of Shamana and Mahatikta becomes more of Rasayana. And now we will see the other one, that is Gugulatikta. The indications are, ingredients are Panchatikta and as Kashaya. And some other dravya, Patha, Nagara, Suradaru, etc. as being used as Kalka. So out of this Kashaya dravyas are Pitta Shamana and this Kalka dravya are Kapha Shamana. So basically, this becomes, even though this is being indicated in Vadavyadhi, what kind of Vadavyadhi? We know this Vadavyadhi is of two kinds, isn't it? One is Dhaduksheja and Avaranajanya. So even though the reference is Ashtanga Hridaya Vadavyadhi, by the ingredients as well as the indications, this seems to be more effective in different kinds of Avarana Vata, or that is especially with the Kaphavrata Vata. So the indications are Kushta, Vadarekta, Nadivrana, etc. And from this site of, we can understand that the site of action extends up to from Rasa to Majja. And the properties like are more, this is much more Ropana, Astisandhaniya, Kushtashamana, as well as Chedana and Lekhana. So what are the conditions where we have to use this Guglatikta as Ghrita as well as Guglatikta as Kashaya? So both this, from this, we know these indications are Sandhya, Asthi, Majja, Gadama, Pita, etc. is mentioned. So Sandhi, Asthi, Majja, etc. Or we know that this Majja, etc. are the deeper dhatus. So this medicine has got an influence or has got significant effect in Rasa, in the dhatus from Rasa to Majja, as well as, and then Koshtha. This medicine has got an effect on this shakha, that is the dhadus. And when we come to the Roga Marga, this is more effective. This Gugladikta is more effective in the conditions, in the disease pertaining to Madhyama Roga Marga, where the other three, that is Aragudhadi, Tiktaka, and Mahadikta, were more prone towards this Bahya as well as Abhyantara Roga. So in skin disease, practically in skin disease, the different deep-rooted skin disease like chronic Vata Kapha predominant psoriasis. Always we know this psoriasis has got different phases as well as different kinds of psoriasis. One psoriasis, one specific kind of psoriasis may exhibit different dosha predominance. In the initial stages, it may be Vata Kapha predominant. Later, it might have been converted into Pitta or Rekta, etc. And vice versa also. So always we should understand the dosha involvement in each and every case specifically. So here, being the indication are Sandhi, Asthi, Majja, etc. This medicine, we can find that this medicine will be more effective in different deep-rooted skin disease, like Vata or chronic Vata Kapha predominant psoriasis, hidradenitis suppurativa, etc. And when we come to GIT, the GI, different kinds of GI polyp, gastrointestinal polyps, or different kinds of gastrointestinal tumors like GIST, that is gastrointestinal stromal tumor, etc., or rectal polyps, etc. Where are the different kinds of disease where we can use this Gugulita as either as Krita or as Kashaya. And when we come to wound, the osteomyelitis or charcoal foods, etc., are some of the indication of this Gugulita or Kashaya. When we comes to skeletal system, that is osteoarthritis or different kinds of RA spectrum, probably this may be rheumatoid arthritis or maybe seronegative arthritis, etc. Depends upon the the symptoms exhibited by the patient. If the symptoms are predominant of kapha or kapha vata, this become or kaphavrata vata. Tumors, probably the CNS tumors or some phases of stroke, especially in the acute stroke, where we can see the symptoms of Kaphavrata Vata. So the conditions like these are the different conditions where we can use this Gugulvikta. The absence of oozing, etc., suggests the nature of Vata. and Kaphandam. The second one is the charcoal foot. The third one is different kind, it's a fistula in it. And the fourth one is the hidradenitis suppurativa. All these are chronic, recurrent kind of diseases. So this has to be given in such deep-rooted chronic diseases and may be considered as or in the later stages of each and every conditions. So now we will just compare both this Tiktaka, Mahatikta and Gugulutikta as Kwatha. So this Grita, the dosage forms is Grita. When it becomes Grita or when it becomes Kwatha, and when we come to this Mahadikta or Gugulutikta, the first one is Tiktaka, the second one is Mahadikta, and the third one is Gugulutikta. So the dosage forms. When it becomes the Tiktaka, when it becomes Grita, it is Pitta Samana. And when it becomes Kwatha, it becomes Pitta Kapha Samana. And Mahadikta, when it becomes Grita, it is Pitta Samana. And when it becomes Kwatha, it becomes Kapha Pitta Samana. In case of Gugulutikta, it is Kapha Vada Samana when it is being administered as Grita. And when being administered as Kwatha, this is again Kapha Vada Samana, but at the same time it becomes little bit Pitta Vardhaka also. So the action on dhatus. Now we will see this action on dhatus. This Tiktaka, when we used as dhatu or as Kwatha, both as well as Grita, this seems to be act on Rasa and Rekta. And in case of Mahadikta, again, both this Rasa and Rekta. At the same time, when it becomes Gugulutikta, this becomes effective in Rasa to Asthi as given as Grita. And when it becomes more effective from Rasa to Majja when it gives as Kwatha. Now we will see the common properties. That is Pachana, this Tiktaka and Mahadikta, or Tiktaka Grita as well as Tiktaka Kwatha are Pachana as well as Kledashoth. This Tiktaka Kwatha is Pachana, Vranashothana, Vranaropana as well as Srodoshothana. And in this case of Mahadikta Grita, as I explained previously, this Tiktaka becomes Shamana and Mahadikta becomes Rasayana with the presence of Amalaki Swarsa. This is a case of Grita. When it becomes Kwatha, this Mahadikta also acts as Shamana only, both as Kledashothana and Shamana. And in case of Gugulutikta, this is Ropana. When it becomes as Grita, as it is Ropana, Pachana and Shamana. When it gives as Gugulutikta Kwatha, it is Kledashothana, Srodoshothana as well as Avarana Bheda. This is how we can differentiate both the different kinds of Kalpana. So Tiktaka Kwatha is Kledashothana and Vranashothana. Tiktaka Grita, Pachana, Vranashothana as well as Srodoshothana. Mahadikta Grita, it's Rasayana, Vranashothana and Ropana. Mahadikta Kwatha is Shamana and Kledashothana. Gugulutikta Grita is Ropana, Pachana and Shamana. And Gugulutikta Kwatha is Kledashothana, Srodoshothana and Avarana. Now we will see another drug called as Shonitamrita. The ingredients, there are only 3 ingredients, that is Pathya, Shariba and Nimpa. Pathya, Gopangana, Nimpe, it starts as. Only 3 ingredients, that is Pathya, Shariba as well as Nimpa. So the reference is, it's a proprietary medicine. The indications are Pitaka, Kushtha, Visarpa. Only 3 indications, Pitaka, Kushtha and Visarpa. So from this, we can see that the site of action is Rasa Rekta, and this seems to be Rasa Pachaka in nature. The properties are Tikta Kashaya Rasa, Shita Virya and Kledashothana. The action on dosha is, this medicine is Pitta Shamana, and this Roga Marga is nothing but Bhagya. This is how this acts, this Shonitamrita. is having action on superficial dhatus and more of shamana in nature. So where we can use this? Different kinds of infective skin disorders with predominance of pitta. You can see the first one is a cellulitis, which has got the predominance of pitta. The second one is a style, or we can say as anjananamika, etc. The third one is different kind, it's a kind of bullous sympatico. The fourth one again is a kind of sebaceous cyst. So almost whatever the kind of pitaka with predominance of pitta, this shonitamrita can be considered as the best option. Now another path, that is Nimbadi. It contains Nimba, Guduchi, Shunti, Haritra, Vasha, Triphala, Patola, and Nidikthika. That is Kantakari. So the reference is Sahasra Yoga. Again, the indication is Pitaka. So in comparison with the Shonitamrita, both has got action on Pitaka. So this Nimbadi has got its action on little more deeper dhatus, and it acts up to Medas. That is Rasa, Rekta, Mamsa, and Medas. The properties are Tikta Kadu Rasa, Ushna Virya, and Kleda Shosha. The action on doshas are Kapha Samana, and this Roga Marga is Bahya. So we will just compare. The previous one, both are indicated in Pitaka. But the previous one, that is Shonitamrita, is Pitta Samana, and Nimbadi is Kapha Samana. So how will we just see this? So the skin disease. So the different kinds of skin disease, that is eruptive skin disorders like furuncle, probably the superficial as well as deep folliculitis. The Shonitamrtam has got its action on mostly on superficial folliculitis, but Nimbadi is little more effective in superficial folliculitis as well as deep folliculitis. The medicines like bullous sympatico or pustular psoriasis, etc., where this becomes the psoriasis has got oozing nature as well as the different kinds of pustule kinds of nature. In case of GIT, again, this is also Ruksha, Tikshna, Kadu, and Ushna, as well as Krimihara. So different kinds of infective disorders like H. pylori or worm infestations, etc. So this also has got antimicrobial action. In case of gynecological disorders, different types of cervicitis or Bartholin cyst or breast abscess, etc. In case of genitourinary system, UTI, different kinds of UTI, probably in the initial phase. And ENT and ophthalmology, the acute suppurative, with the suppurative disorders, that is ASOM or CSOM, acute, both in acute suppurative otitis media or chronic suppurative otitis media, including folliculitis, stye, etc. So you can just see the H. pylori infection, the different kinds of pitaka, sebaceous cyst. The first one is a kind of intertrigo. The third one is the second one. The third one is a sebaceous cyst, and the another one is a bullous impetigo. The child one is bullous impetigo, and another one is palmoplantar pustular psoriasis. So these are the different conditions where we can use this Nimbadi. So the previous one, that is Shonitamrtam and Nimbadi, both has got action on Pitaka. At the same time, Shonitamrtam is Pitta Samana and Nimbadi is Kapha. Now we will see another common yoga, that is Brihat Manjishtadikvata or Manjishtadikvata Brihat. So the reference is Sarngadara Samhita. The indications, Vada Rekta, Vada Vyadhi, Kushta, Netra Roga, etc. There are more than 20 ingredients as well as more than 5 to 10 indications. From the indications, we can see that this has got action on Rasa to Vacha. The properties are Tikta Kadurasa, Ushna Virya, Kleda Shoshna, and Srodha Shodha. So the action on doshas are Kapha, Pitta, and Rekta Shamana. Yoga Margas, Bahya as well as Madhyam. So the previous one, the Tiktaka and Mahatikta were effective on Bahya as well as Abhyandara. Gokulatikta was effective on Madhyama. This Shonitamrita and the Nimbadi was effective on Bahya. And here, this Brihat Manjushtadi is effective on Bahya as well as Madhyama Rogama. Practically, skin disease, deep-rooted skin disease or psoriatic arthritis, where this Kushta as well as Vatarakta, both the symptoms are being present, as well as different kinds of autoimmune skin disorders or chronic non-healing ulcers. In case of skeletal system, again, the autoimmune conditions like chronic RA, inflammatory phase of OA, or different kinds of soft tissue inflammations where tenderness becomes the cardinal features. We can select this Brihat Manjushtadi. In case of this other disease, the spectrum multiple system involvement, the diseases in which multiple systems are involved, like scleroderma or SLE, etc. This Brihat Manjushtadi is an unavoidable medicine or inevitable medicine. In case of UTI, the Nimbadi was more effective in the acute phase, and this Brihat Manjushtadi is more effective in the later chronic phases. In case of ENT and ophthalmology, this ASOM or CSOM, folliculitis, STI, etc. This Manjushtadi is an inevitable medicine. So you can see this different kinds of non-healing ulcers, scleroderma, etc. This Brihat Manjushtadi becomes an effect. Different kinds of venous ulcers. This is a case of this third one is a case. The second one is a case of pemphigus vulgaris. So these are the different indications where Manjushtadi can be utilized. Now we will see another specialty medicine, that is Jeevanti Kashayam. The ingredients are Jeevanti, Ribera, Triphala, Vasa, Amrita, Sariba, etc. The Prakshepa Churna is Mathu and Guru. Indication is Pitaka. Again, the another kind of Pitaka. So the characters are the Tikta Rasa, Laghu Ruksh Guna, Pitta Shamana, Pachana, and Kleda Shoshana. So what word we can use this Jeevanti has effectively. Jeevanti, the indication of Jeevanti is very interesting. It has got an action on Purva Rupa Avastha itself. Acharya explained as Pitasche Joritena Tasya Pitakolpate Prasangakuta. We know that all the Pitaka has got a predominant or has got a prodromal phase of fever or jara. So, if this medicine, Pitasche Joritena Tasya, if this medicine has started in that Joravastha itself, it never progressed to Pitakavastha. So this is the indication of this Jeevanti Vata. So it's a Pitta Shamana medicine and it has got an action on Purva Rupa Avastha. So where we can use this? In case of skin disorders, the initial stages of Pitta predominant skin disease. In case of skeletal disorders, chronic RA or inflammatory phase of OA, different types of soft tissue inflammations where tenderness becomes cardinal feature, but more of acute in nature. This is very effective in different kinds of bleeding disorders also. The conditions like pyospermia, hematuria, etc. are also, this medicine has got effect. So you can see this different kinds of Pitaka conditions. These are all Pitaka predominant. The principal feature is nothing but Pitaka. So these are all the conditions where this Jivadyadi Kashayam can be used. There is another one called as Mulakadi Kashayam. Mulaka is used here is nothing but Madhusnuhi or Chobachini. So here it contains Mulaka, Haridagi, Krishna Jiraga, and Nimba. And indication is Bala Visarka. This is Kadu Kashaya Rasa, Laghu Ruksha Guna, Ushna Virya, Pachana, Krimihara, Kapasamana, and Kledasosha. So again, different types of skin diseases with Kapha predominance, chronic and deep-seated. Different types of non-healing ulcers, different types of fungal infections, fissure in ano or fistula in ano, etc. This Mulagadi, this has got a high effectiveness towards the open house. So now we will see just two kinds of avaleha, that is Chariya Madhusnuhi and Valiya Madhusnuhi. Chariya is the Malayalam term for Laghu and Valiya is the Maha. So we can consider this as Laghu Madhusnuhi and Maha Madhusnuhi. Along with that, we will compare this with another one, that is Gandhaka Rajarasayana. So the Laghu Madhusnuhi, the difference in it will just tell. In case of all this contains Ghrita as a medium. So in case of Laghu Madhusnuhi, we use the plain Ghrita. And in case of Maha Madhusnuhi, we use the medicated, that is Mahadikta Ghrita for the preparation. So initially we will prepare this Mahadikta Ghrita, and to that Mahadikta Ghrita, we will add the other medicine and convert it into Avaleha form. And again in Gandhaka Rajarasayana also, we add this Mahadikta Ghrita. It is being prepared out of Mahadikta Ghrita. Out of this, Mahamadhusnuhi and Gandhaka Rajara Mahamadhusnuhi Rasayana has got Gugulu and Gandhaka as an additional ingredient. And in Gandhaka Rajarasayana has got Gandhaka as an additional ingredient. So in short, practically that we can use this Laghu Madhusnuhi as a subacute or acute non-healing ulcer or subacute psoriasis, etc. Mahamadhusnuhi, chronic deep-rooted disease like osteomyelitis, scleroderma, etc. Gandhaka Rajarasayana, we can use this charcot foot or psoriatic arthropathy, etc. In short, Laghu Madhusnuhi can be considered as effective in Dhatu Gata Avastha. Mahamadhusnuhi is Dhatu Leena Avastha, and Gandhaka Rajarasayana is also Dhatu Leena Avastha. So basically, for example, we can just consider this as Dhatu Gata Kushta, where Laghu Madhusnuhi can be indicated. The other one, the second one is Dhatu Leena Kushta, where Mahamadhusnuhi can be indicated. And the third one is again, which has got an arthropathy or joint deformity, etc. Dhatu Leena Avastha, where we can use this Gandhaka Rajarasayana. So this is what I have to consider regarding I have to explain regarding the different kinds of yoga formulations, and I'll be very happy to clear in case of any doubts. Once again, I express my sincere gratitude to the organizers of this CME. Thank you very much.